Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining Turnkey Technologies for our webinar on sales analytics in Microsoft Dynamics 365. My name is Zach Green. I'm the content marketing specialist here at Turnkey, and today I'm joined by our customer engagement director, Jennifer Clark. Before we get started with sales analytics, I want to take a moment to introduce our organization. Turnkey Technologies is a gold Microsoft partner that specializes in Microsoft Dynamics ERP and customer engagement software. In addition to software implementations and services, we provide value to our clients through our team of consultants who help Microsoft Dynamics users get the most out of their solutions every single day. If you want to learn more about how to get engaged with our team, we'll be providing our contact information at the end of the session. And with that said, I will hand it off to Jennifer Clark.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm going to go through, just kind of want to describe a little bit about how the webinar is going to go today. I'll be sharing some information via PowerPoint, and then at the end, I'm actually going to go in and show some live analytics, and then we will have time at the end for Q&A. So if you could just hold your questions until the end, that would be great, and then we can go ahead and we'll make sure that we allow enough time for those. All right, Zach, I'm going to have you go to the next slide here. Our agenda. So again, I know Zach gave you a little bit of company overview. I'm going to talk a little bit more about it. Then we'll go in and talk about what is Dynamics 365 customer engagement, for those of you who are not as familiar. We're going to go through and talk a little bit about sales analytics, marketing analytics, some service analytics, and then we will have our conclusion. So a little bit about Turnkey Technologies. If you want to go to the next slide. We partner with organizations to help them improve the way they transact business using Microsoft Dynamics. We try to empower them to deliver better experiences to their customers and better processes for their employees. And of course, that's a greater profitability to their bottom line. So a little bit about our leadership. We were founded in 1994 as a service-oriented organization. We provide full service and end-to-end business process automation and optimization. It's led by our fearless leader, Chris Gherardini, who began with Dynamics GP in the mid-'80s. Some of our qualifications: we're a large practice team of 50-plus U.S.-based full-time Microsoft Dynamics professionals. We're highly credentialed collection of accounting, technology, and engineering professionals. Kind of our approach on projects and working with our customers is we want to make sure that it's the right size and configure those solutions for every business budget, so small, medium, large. And we use an adaptable phased methodology. Some of our portfolio, Microsoft Dynamics, 98% plus of our business, and Microsoft Cloud Focus. So we have finance and supply chain, AX, Business Central, which again, if you've been in this space, used to be NAV, customer engagement, so that's sales, service, marketing, field service, project services, and that used to kind of be rolled into CRM. All Dynamics on-premise, so again, GP, AX, NAV, SL, CRM, and then modern workplace, so your Office 365, Power Platform, Azure. Just kind of our project and service profiles, pre-sales services and co-selling, again, that vision creation and solutioning, proof of concepts, full implementation services for both ERP and CRM, and then obviously any legacy systems and upgrades. We also have development services. We have a great technical development team for ERP and CRM integrations, customizations, things like that. Sorry, we're going full screen here. Hopefully you guys can see it better than if your eyes are anything like mine. Customizations, we have IP, bots, Power Apps, data services, and of course analytics, which is our highlight in today's webinar. We also have managed services, full lifecycle application maintenance and support, licensing management, and fully staffed support desk with SLA escalation. Right now, our industry focus, of course, continues to grow. Manufacturing, so medical devices, aerospace, electronics, chemicals, packaging, food, and professional service. So government contracting, aerospace, engineering, IT, and field service. So that's just a little bit about turnkey technologies. And now, again, if you have any questions about that later, by all means, make sure we'll have our contact information at the end. If you have any other questions about who we are or want to know more information. So let's talk about what is Dynamics 365 customer engagement. So again, if you're used to the legacy system of CRM, it's changed a little bit, kind of the way Microsoft has done it, and it involves a few more things. So really, customer engagement is transformed into a customer-centric organization where marketing, sales, and service professionals have the insights they need to personalize experiences. So D365 sales, that goes beyond, Salesforce automation, and it better understands customer needs, engage more effectively, and therefore you can win more deals. D365 marketing, you can find and nurture more sales-ready leads, connect sales and marketing, automate your processes, and make smarter decisions to maximize your marketing ROI. And then you have the customer service. Get a complete view of your customers, including activity history, key contacts, communications, internal account discussions, and then, of course, any escalations or cases that they've had. I think the big thing about customer engagement, before when we would think of CRM, it was just kind of a contact database, and you would reach out and keep track of your activities. With really customer engagement, Microsoft has brought sales, marketing, and customer service together from an end-to-end customer journey, if you will, to have that 360-degree holistic view of that customer. By doing that and allowing some of these processes to be more automated and, of course, in one system as opposed to using different systems, it really allows you to offer a very personalized customer experience as opposed to just, having a number or a contact in a database. All right. Zach, you can go to the next slide. So again, this is kind of what I was talking about, power end-to-end customer experience. So starting with your marketing, lead generation, campaigns, customer journeys, they can come in through your website, you have content out there, and then the sales, right? So once they come in based on certain marketing journeys and information that you put out there, depending on the campaign source, they'll come in, and then sales will get recommendations based on that. I mean, sales can make those recommendations based on the marketing journey and the source campaign that they were part of. It allows you to have some next action, and then after they're in and they've become a customer, the service part of it allows the businesses to have omnichannel support, cross-sell or upsell, and really give them that ongoing support that customers expect. Some statistics that especially over the last year with the pandemic, customers are really, even though a lot of things have slowed down, customers' expectations of their customer service have continued to rise. So I think 5 years ago, the personalized experience, customers didn't really care or they weren't expecting it as much. It was only, I think 48%. That's up to, they expect a personalized experience is up to 85% now. And that was a study done by Gartner. So again, having all three of these together and having them provide you with a 360-degree view of the customer will really help you provide that great service to your customer. Zach, we can head to the next slide. So a little bit about the Microsoft Customer Data Platform. Again, get a complete view of customers. You can combine and enrich all your data in real time while empowering collaboration across everyone within your organization. I am not sure, we'll get into this at the end with Q&A, but when I first started doing sales and first started doing CRM and things like that, we had about 4 different systems at a minimum that we had to go into to get information. We had to gather information from our marketing team, and then we would go into one to get our contacts, and then we had a whole other help desk system, and it took a long time, and it was very hard to, really understand who had talked to the customer, what they had talked about. So getting that complete view of customers is a really big deal, really will help allow you to provide that customer service. Another thing, which is kind of what we're talking about today, is unlocking those powerful insights with limitless analytics. So right, this is what this webinar is about. It's being able to predict customer intent with out-of-the-box AI templates and apply custom machine learning models for deeper insights. So I will give Microsoft a lot of credit. They're really investing right now in their analytics, specifically their AI and their IoT. So all their artificial intelligence and is running in the background, just gleaning and scrubbing and putting together all of this data. And so their analytics have come a long way in that, and that's really going to help you, again, predict what your customers need, especially in customer service. Rather than being reactive, you can be proactive in what your customers are needing. You also drive meaningful actions with confidence, right? You can take that data and you have confidence in that data, and it helps you make informed decisions, personalize engagement across channels, and then automate customer-centric experiences and processes. Again, it allows you to drive that automation, and it allows management to really see the data and help dissect it to help drive business. Go to the next one, Zach. So again, I think the important thing here is just get a holistic view of customers. You can connect your data with ease, transform that customer data intelligently, and then you have really enriched data. So getting that holistic view of customers with the different pieces of the analytics. All right. So let's talk a little bit about the Dynamics 365 Sales Analytics. So there's 4 key themes that I want to talk about for sales success. The first one is build and strengthen relationships with key prospects. I mean, that's the important thing. You want to make sure that you have the right prospects, the right leads in order to close that business. Quantity is definitely not better than quality. So more than 75% of those who achieve their revenue goals have said that their organization has strong alignment between sales and marketing. So again, having those 2 departments, not siloed, have that information shared, that's a pretty good statistic there. 75% achieving those revenue goals, have those 2 talking to each other. You can actually engage with the whole buying community is the second theme. So more than 80% of companies who report being effective at building these relationships also report they're being effective at achieving their sales goals. So that's really the key. It's customer engagement is truly about relationship selling. You're selling, I think, you can go and you can buy things from lots of different places, but it's that personal experience and that relationship you build with your potential customers that's going to, have them choose you and then keep coming back. Also, it's about scale. So when we think about customer engagement, over 70% of respondents said that being effective at implementing this scaling process translates into met revenue goals. So Microsoft D365 for sales, marketing, and service is very scalable. You can start small and, you can go up to having thousands of users in different places. There's portals to go with that, so you can have your vendors and customers also have access to some of that data. So it's very scalable, and that's really important as you think about, whether you need to scale back. I know some of our customers scaled back this last year with the pandemic, and then now things are picking up. So, how can you scale back up? So it's scalable in either direction. I think that's really important. And then the 4th theme for sales success is you have to have cross-platform. Being cross-platform is a very key initiative. Nearly 80% of successful organizations say that their current set of sales tool capabilities are key in enabling their sales team to achieve their revenue targets. So again, the tools that you give your sales team and your marketing team and even your service team, I know we're talking about sales right now, but just having that available. For example, your sales force, whether they're inside sales or outside sales, having them be able to access, all of the information from the other departments. If I'm going out to a customer and I need to see, okay, they had 2 service cases, they're having issues with this, let's discuss that. They were part of this marketing campaign. They responded really well. Okay, I maybe need to talk about that. And it's all either on their, computer or on their mobile device. I mean, they can access that information right as they're walking in the door or making that video conference call. It's all right there at their fingertips to be able to use. Next slide. So when we think about sales analytics, analyzing your customer data, not a new challenge, but it's probably more difficult, right? I think we've always had to analyze that customer data. I will say that data is king, right? You have to have good data if you're going to have good outcomes. So, a lot of customer data sets are siloed. Enterprises are faced with the challenge of managing and effectively analyzing siloed data. So, whether it's behavioral, transactional, demographic. Again, as I was sharing, you might have your marketing in one platform and in one software. You might have your sales and where you keep track of that in another. Your help desk and your service might be in another. And again, how do enterprises and companies bring all that together so that it's not siloed and that everyone across the organization has access to that information? Interactivity is a necessity for analytics. Business questions aren't known ahead of time, so insights and decisions are found in the process of discovery. So again, going back to kind of the AI and the analytics here, when you have good data, you can actually make some predictions and data to back it up. You can look at your KPIs and look at how you're trending, and then you can make some better informed decisions on where you want to go in the future. Whether it's operational, sales, just allows you to analyze that data and make some informed decisions. Analysis is disconnected from systems of action. So analysis is expensive and inflexible. So to be effective for the business, the output of analytics needs to be connected to systems of actions such as marketing automation. So, the analysis is great, whether you're using Power BI, whether you're using analytics in your, current software. Analytics is wonderful. You just have to have the data in order to drive that analytics and drive the analysis. And so the more systems you have to pull from, the better the chance that data is going to get, you might miss something or you've got duplicate data. So being able to put that all in one place is very helpful. Next slide. So some of the sales analytics that we're going to talk about, and we'll kind of go into and see a live look later, D365 for sales, right? A lot of it is about pipeline and your revenue. So, what is, are you selling by product, right? So, what products are selling higher than others or what services, and then your stages of your pipeline, how many leads do you have, right? Typical sales pipeline should look like a funnel. You got to have it really full at the top in order to get those, quality sales down at the bottom. So what does that look like by sales stage? And then of course by territory and by, if you have different territories or your sales team, what are their goals? What are their revenue goals? What are their sales goals? And how can you track that? And, whether it's to help coach them, whether you've seen a rise in a certain product, so maybe you need to market that more. So here's kind of where the sales analytics really play in and allow you to be able to get that information. Can we pause here and take everyone off mute? I just want to get a feel from those on the call. What kind of sales analytics from your guys' point of view do you struggle with right now? Do you struggle finding?
See if I can unmute them. If not, then I can field the questions in the chat box.
Okay, perfect. Sorry, I didn't know that we could unmute them. My apologies. Yeah, if you guys could just...
So
okay.
I think we might... Here we go. There is one, it's not really related to your question. they'd be interested in the follow-up on how D365 customer service is different from D365 sales.
Sure.
But we might
And
address that later
hopefully,
in the
yeah, hopefully we'll get that answered later on when I go through the customer service piece. So I can absolutely help answer that question. Yeah, and if you guys just want to think about, I think that'll be really good for the Q&A at the end, if you want to think about what kind of analytics in terms of the sales team right now that you guys are struggling with, I think that'll be great in terms of, you know, helping me, especially when we're going into the live portion. So if you guys want to think about that as we go on, that would be great. Thanks, Zach. We can go to the next slide.
All right. Just learning to juggle over here.
So again, these are, some other analytics are by customers, right? You can see which customers you're getting the most spend from, right? So even if it's you might have one or two customers who are giving you, 60% of your revenue. So it helps understand that to know, okay, these guys might need more touch points as opposed to some of your other customers. It also allows you, when you bring in other analytics, to see if they're going to churn. Maybe they haven't been buying as much as they used to, and trying to understand why, to reach out to them as well, right? To see, okay, you over the last few years, you've spent this much with us, now you're not spending that much. And then again, overall, how you're, spending and sharing and looking at those kind of KPIs. All right. So marketing analytics, again, sales and marketing go hand in hand. So a lot of questions are, how do you improve marketing effectiveness? How do we get more effective at marketing and making our marketing count so we get some ROI? So with the marketing analytics provided in customer engagement, you have real-time KPIs to dashboards to be able to track your business goals, your journey performance, your content effectiveness, and you can really enhance customer experience using those analytics and dashboards. So when we think about a journey and talk about journey performance, I just want to highlight what that is. That's used to be called kind of a campaign. So you'd send out things, and if they responded, maybe you'd send them something else, or follow up with an appointment. So those are the journeys, and now with the marketing, D365 marketing, it's much easier to create, more complex journeys and be able to get a lot more data back on who's clicked, who hasn't, who read something, opened that file, and then again, did they open it at all? So the marketing analytics really provide that information so you can, why didn't they open it? Is it content? So you can work with your marketing team on that to really help the sales department. You can improve your customer targeting and level of personalization by using customer insights. So you can turn customer insights into marketing actions through a personal customer journey. So again, if you're getting those customer insights, perhaps one of the examples we'll show today is from if they sell coffee makers, and they like certain types of coffee, you can actually create a marketing campaign, around that particular type of, if you think of Keurig or a coffee maker and what kind of coffee they like, you can get those insights, and that allows marketing to really provide target, personalized marketing content to your customers. All right, next slide. So these are just some examples of marketing analytics, again, that we'll, dive into here and kind of get a live look. So some of it is, why people entered the journey, and then why people left, right? So did they complete it? Where did they opt out? Where did they fail? At what part of that journey did they stop? So again, was it the second survey you sent or the second piece of content? This just really allows you to fine tune your marketing and the content that you're sending out. So again, you can have your journeys listed and, your different marketing campaigns. Is it on track? Is it off track? Did you get it accomplished? If you have a certain amount of goals that you want, for example, you send it to 3,000 people, you want 800 to get through, how are you meeting those goals? So the marketing analytics are a very quick and nice dashboard and easy way to see kind of how your marketing is working. Next slide. So service analytics. So this is a great point. I'm going to answer the question now in terms of, the difference between sales and service. So if you think about sales, right, that's your, you kind of start with marketing and you market to them or you get a leads list from somewhere, whether it's your sales team is actively calling that comes in from your website or a portal, you have these new customers, these potential customers in there, and then your sales team will work those customers and close the deals. Once those are closed, those same customers might have service that they need. Maybe their software isn't working, the piece of equipment isn't working, they have an issue, right? So then that's going to go to your customer service. So if you think about it in the whole journey, it starts with marketing, goes to sales. Once that sales is closed, it goes over to your customer service, which could be support, could just be follow-up or trying to, upsell them on things later. And the service is really where you, support that customer and try to get that lifetime customer out of there. So the service piece is really, you call in, you might have a case or a support ticket that needs to be handled. That's where customer service is, whereas sales is the getting them from that lead to the actual customer. And I see that was George. George, if that doesn't, answer your question, by all means, we can certainly follow up and I can go through a little bit more of the differences there. So D365 Service Analytics. We want to be able to empower your service teams with the right tools for increased productivity and customer experiences. So what does that mean? Well, we want to make sure that we're analyzing comprehensive support insights. So D365 Service Analytics has built-in AI, which detects emerging trends and automation opportunities across support topics, agents, engagement channels, knowledge management to enhance support delivery. So some of the service analytics are, that run in the background. We've seen support cases on this product really rise over the last 6 months. Okay, does that mean something's maybe wrong with the product we're selling? Do we need a different vendor? It allows you to get that information based on the support topics that are coming in, right? Maybe you're seeing a lot more people come in through the portal now. So maybe we need to make sure that content is more robust on the portal to be able to help answer those questions, or put knowledge articles out on the portal so that they can do some self-service before they come in. So those comprehensive support insights are going to help you manage and make your support process much better. It also allows you to adapt quickly to real-time customer sentiment. So the analytics are going to help you understand your customer interactions in real time, excuse me, using sentiment analysis and translation. So this is going to give agents the context they need to steer conversations towards a positive resolution. So when your customer service people are looking at the customer, they're going to be able to see they've had issues with the same thing before. They've had issues, but or maybe it's upsell. They're calling in for some more information, or maybe to order again, something like that. But it really allows you to understand where the customer's at, and then you can give them a positive resolution much quicker. You can be much more empathetic on the phone if you see that this customer is called in and they've dealt with this already 4 times. They're probably going to be upset. So it just allows you to have that information real time. You can also track success against key performance indicators, so some KPIs. You get actionable insights and improved visibility into how agents and support topics are affecting organizational KPIs, right? So specifically when we think about support, if you have any SLAs with any of your customers or contracts with them or agreements, seeing how many cases or if you're meeting those SLAs, right, that's going to help you understand your organizational KPIs as well. How well are the agents doing? How quick are they getting things solved or resolved? So that really helps you, against, again, your KPIs that you have for your internal team as well. Enhance your knowledge base with knowledge search insights. So help knowledge managers identify knowledge article gaps by understanding what topics agents are searching for to help resolve customer issues. So again, if I see that I have all these cases on this particular product or this particular part or this particular service, I can have either my marketing team or my knowledge manager go out and maybe write up a fact sheet or an instruction sheet on how to solve those. So you can put that in two places. If you have a portal, put it out there so that the customer can find it itself, or make sure that your customer service resource has access to that so they can easily walk through that with that customer and they don't have to go searching for things. So having those insights, again, helps you with your content and understand what topics are trending and where those gaps are. All right, next slide. So this shows just some of the analytics here that are useful. So case volume by status, open case by priority, so high, medium, low, and again you can have different statuses and priorities. And then what channel? In today's world, it used to be just a phone call. They'd come in and they'd call for support, and then email got added to that. And now you can have a portal, you can have your website, a phone call, an email, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We've seen all sorts of social channels that people are using in order to have that support come in. So that's definitely a new service analytic that's great to have. You can have open cases by case stage, right? Here, this is a new case. We're researching, problem resolved, waiting on client. It allows you to understand where your cases are in that stage. And then it also, by trend, right? What are the cases trending on? What information are most of these related to? Is it a break fix? Again, is it a product? Is it a service? Understanding those trends to better help your customer service agents. Next slide. And again, so with Omnichannel, it also is able to show you, Omnichannel is basically a call service for call agents to use that is tied into your customer engagement. And with Omnichannel, it actually allows the person, whether it's via chat or whether it's via phone call, to be able to rate those calls. And again, what is the cases on? Is it open? Is it pending? Have they signed off on it? This just, again, allows more information about that phone call or the chat that your customer service agents are doing. And it also gives satisfaction. So was this, are they neutral? Were they dissatisfied? Are they satisfied? It also helps you provide some of your customer satisfaction analytics as well. All right, next slide. Again, here's a few more. You can actually do this by customer, right? So you can say, here's the total cases for this customer, how many are active, resolved cases, what's the percentage, how much time am I spending on each case with this customer, average customer service score. So here in this case, it's 8.9. And, you can actually go down this by customer as well as by case, right? So rather than just doing it all by cases, you can split this out by customers. This is really helpful if you have some, well, not even larger ones, but I would say more of your high-touch customers. How are we doing specifically solving their cases and their support tickets? So again, it tells you, what case came in, how long it took to solve, what the resolution was. Just gives you some pretty good information at the customer level as well as opposed to just the service level. All right, Zach, next slide. And a few more service analytics. This is more on the knowledge information. What's the average search? What are they searching for? Current search duration. How long does it take them to find something? Again, engagement trend. What are the topics they're searching on? What did they do if they couldn't find it? So this is really important for your knowledge management team when they're putting together those fact sheets and those how-tos. This really is going to allow them to see what your customer service agents are doing so that, they can better understand where those gaps are. All right, Zach, next slide. So just in conclusion, when you think about the customer engagement and you think about the sales and the marketing and the service, really having all of that together, it enables everyone across every team to make better and more impactful decisions by actually using the data and the insights with the intelligence of Microsoft 365 Analytics. So, whether your focus is on accelerating a single process or disrupting your entire industry, you can get there by making analytics accessible and useful throughout your business. I think that's really the key thing when we've done analytics implementations, is that it's just so visible for everyone. Diagrams, easy to use, and then you can drill into the data if you want to, but it is really helpful and useful throughout your whole business, as opposed to just management or marketing, just seeing what marketing is doing, or sales, just seeing what sales is doing. It just allows across your whole business, visibility into all of those analytics. So again, Dynamics 365, every group has freedom to solve problems and make decisions on their own with the help of using intelligent tools and actually analyzing, quality data as opposed to quantity. All right, next slide. So this allows you to get in-depth insights. So again, making each touch point more relevant and responsive with proactive data-driven insights into customer needs and behaviors. Did a great webinar yesterday regarding customer service, and one of the biggest asked questions or comments was that they were so reactive. All these waiting for their customers to have problems or to have issues rather than being able to analyze any sort of data so they could be proactive. Proactive maintenance, or, hey, I see you have this product, we've had these issues, here how to fix it if it comes out, even if they haven't reported something yet. So really allowing the data to help you be more proactive. It removes business silos. You can gain a deeper understanding of your customers and organization by unifying relationships, processes, and data across apps. So again, having that relationship, I would say internally, right, with marketing, sales, and service, having those three work really well together as opposed to having information be siloed. And then, right, you sound like a much more comprehensive business when, your customer service person knows where the marketing came from, or the customer service knows what the salesperson talked about. And especially for the sales team who say, okay, they're really interested in these things with marketing, and they've had these issues over here with service, how can I help build that relationship with that customer to make that relationship better? It also allows you to respond with greater agility, so you can adapt to market conditions and changing customer needs with easily adjustable analytics functionality. So again, you can see what the market's doing, you can see what your customers are doing, and you can adapt to what they need. And again, we talked about that yesterday in our call too, in terms of customer service, where a lot of it used to be on-site and now it has to be remote just because of the pandemic and kind of the times we're in. So that was kind of hard for them to do, and now they're implementing sales and analytics and hoping that will help alleviate those problems in the future. All right, next slide. All right, so now I am going to go ahead and take over, and I'm just going to kind of drill in here, show you a couple different dashboards, with sales and some service and things like that. And then we will open it up to questions. So I'm going to go ahead and show my screen. And Zach, if you want to let me know when you can see my screen, that would be great. Sometimes it takes a minute.
Yeah. Okay, there we go.
Okay, great. Perfect. So this is just an example of a sales pipeline, that we've implemented. So again, this is our one revenue, right? So we've 18.51 million. Our win rate, and again, this is based on our pipeline and our close rate. Close is 1. So we're at 83.33%. Our open revenue, that's what's in the pipeline in all stages. So we have about 93.37 million in the pipeline in this case. An open count, that's going to be the count of open opportunities that you have. Okay. Put that over there. So this is open revenue by industry. So in this case, we have a couple different industries, and blank, right? If you haven't chosen an industry, this also helps talk to your sales team and say, okay, we have to make sure we're coding these right. Again, right? Good data. So in this case, we have, consumer services, 66.72 million. In open revenue, food and tobacco, utility creation, transportation, entertainment, retail, financial. And in this case, these are just the biggest industries you have on here, but you could choose to see all of the industries you support, or again, your main industries. Sales pipeline. So again, if you think about this funnel, right, we have a couple different stages where we have, blank. We don't have any, they're not in any stage yet. They're just out there. We have about 3.24 million in the qualify stage, 15 million in the develop, and then propose and close. So that just allows you to see your sales pipeline by the different stages. And then you have by rating, right? So if you rate your leads in any way, again, in this particular case, we have warm, hot, cold, and we have 92 million in the warm. We have, if you scroll over the hot, you have 1.5 million, and it looks like we don't have any that are cold. Okay, so these are just some of the key metrics that we showed in there. Sales pipeline created by month. So again, shows estimated revenue is on there, and then it's by warm, hot, cold. So this would be by month, so you could see the trends in here to see by month if you're selling more or less, and where those leads are at. And then in this case, we have just a few owners on here, so this would be your sales team. So again, in this case, because it's my demo environment, CRM admin, I have a whole lot. Janice Smith, and then lists out some other people. So this would tell you what their individual pipelines look like. And then open revenue by country. So we did some things that were international. So this just shows you could click on it and see how much it is in the US, how much it is in South America, over in Europe. So just by a quick glance, you can see a lot of things in your sales pipeline, and it allows you to drill down into these and see each of these and see the data that makes these up. So if I clicked on win rate, it would show you, hey, what are the records that make that up? Okay. So that's the sales one. I'm going to go over and go ahead and look at some marketing information. Oh, wait, Zach, can you tell me, sometimes there's a lag. Can you see my screen here?
They sure can.
Okay, great. So I did kind of a marketing when I was talking about social posting before. So again, a lot of people are using more social channels to do their marketing. So this just shows the social posts that we put out there. So Twitter, Facebook, if it's live, if it failed, if it's in draft. So this just allows me, if I'm a marketing manager, to see kind of what our social posts and campaigns are. Again, this just shows the sum of them and the weeks that they're out there. I can expand the chart. Just kind of wanted to show you guys this in live time. And then I can go ahead and if I click on this, I can say view records. And now it'll show me, well, it should show me, hold on. It should show me the what makes up those records. So again, right, the social posts that are there. So this is if you have, when you think about social stuff, your like count, your comments, how many people commented on them, the impression count, which means just, how many people did you actually looked at it. So it's kind of some good information for those social channels. I know that a lot of companies are going more towards the social channels. Now we're going to hop back over here and we'll go to another, just kind of some marketing analytics I wanted to show you guys. So again, you know, by segment, so when I say segments, those are your campaigns that go out. So, you know, how many people responded back when we sent out things on productivity, extreme, you know, all season. These are different types of products that we sent information out. This is some different information on manufacturers that we're doing marketing on. So that's important. You know, how many units year to date? And then some really good information that I know a lot of companies want are year over year. So, you know, and this is broken out by region, again, by manufacturer, how many units we've sold, and this is all related to the marketing and sales piece of this. It used to be very difficult to get year over year information, and now because all of the data is in the same place in terms of marketing, sales, and service, it's a lot easier to get that information. Okay. I'm going to go over here and go to my customer service dashboard. Zach, am I good to go? Can we see it?
Yep.
Okay, great. So this just tells me the active cases I have going on over here. So maybe I'm a customer service manager and I want to see, you know, what our case count is and how we're doing. So this would just be all my active cases. This is case by priority. So we can see I have, you know, high, low, normal. And again, this I can just click on that and it will show me those 12. Cases by product. So in this case, again, it was a coffee maker. So we have, you know, 19 that are related to this particular product. And then case by incident type. That's kind of a big one that people like to look at, right? So delivery, we have hardware issues, we have knowledge-based information, and then we have repairs. So this is the case by type. You can also have case by origin, right? Again, we talked about how when you have customer service now, you have cases coming in from a lot of different areas. And so you have email, IoT, phone, web, portal, kind of whatever your channels are that are coming in, you can see that information. All right. We'll go down here. This again just shows you some customer service analytics. So incoming cases, how many are active, how many are escalated, right? That's kind of a big one. How many are getting escalated to supervisors or managers to solve. This is by subject again. So service maintenance, support, case volume trend is, whoops, I went too far. My mouse got mouse happy. Again, resolved cases, active cases, incoming cases by subject, which we just went over, cases by priority, and then a big one is cases by age, especially if you have certain SLAs. So you want to make sure that, you know, you have one week to 1 month, you have one, and here we have 1 month to 6 months. So it's obviously taking a lot longer to get these cases resolved. So maybe we have to understand why. And then once you have customer service surveys that go out, you can actually get your CSAT scores on here, your customer satisfaction scores. So that's just kind of a live look at you know, these in the system and to understand, you know, the different analytics and how it looks in real time, I would say. We only have about 10 minutes left, and I want to make sure that we have some time for Q&A. So I'm going to open it up now just to make sure that we have plenty of time for you guys to ask your questions.
I'm pulling up the question module right now.
I know you guys have questions.
Let's give them a few more seconds to come through.
Sure.
Okay, here's one. So where is the data on cases coming from? Is it coming from ERP, or is there a case management tool inside of D365?
So in the customer service, there's case management. So it could come in, again, a case can be created automatically from an email, a case can be created from a phone call, can come from your website, right? You can have a web form on there that can come in and a case can come in that way. And there's also a portal that you have coming in. So typically it's not going to come from your ERP, it would come from a source. A case would get created, and then it would route through. You can have case routing, so it routes to a queue, which is a group of people, or you can route it to specific people based on the topic or the product, and then it can go through a business process flow on resolution of that case. And so that's where the case data comes from. Good question.
All right, looks like we have a couple of other ones here. When is it suggested to use Power BI versus D365 Analytics?
So typically I make that recommendation when you are pulling information from multiple data sources, meaning if you're using D365 Analytics, you're going to be pulling your information from D365. So from the marketing module, the customer service module, the sales module, if you have field service, those modules. If you have a lot of different data sources that you're pulling from, whether it's Excel spreadsheets, ERPs, other systems, other third-party systems, then we recommend using Power BI because it can take the customer, the D365 analytics and information from other places and put it together. And then you can get a comprehensive look. So I would say that you would want to use, Power BI in those instances. That's usually our recommendation. So if you're not, for example, if you have some other ERP and you're not going to be using, F&O or Business Central or Microsoft ERP, and you want information brought in from there, whether it's invoicing or, actual sales or things like that, then we would recommend using Power BI. So it could capture both D365 analytics and data from other places.
Great. Then we have another one here. Is everything shown out of the box? How much customization is allowed within the analytics?
So there are quite a few, these right here are out of the box. So this is just customer service analytics, and this is just how it shows. But it's very easy to customize this as well. And when I say customize, I actually used to like the word configure because you're configuring it. There's no development involved. I can just choose this incoming cases and I can, change it around to be a different view. As long as the data's there, it's very easy to configure. But in terms of the analytics, there are several dashboards that are just out of the box and good to go. So the things I showed you today, I tried to make sure, that things were out of the box that I showed you.
Okay.
But there's a lot of customization.
Do you find that more?
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, Jennifer. Do you find that more customers use marketing as a standalone or in addition to sales and service?
Typically, what we have seen is that marketing is typically an add-on to the sales and service. Sometimes they might not have service, they might not do service, but definitely with sales. But I would say that it definitely is a fit with the sales and the service. The marketing is usually the add-on. Usually you're going to have the sales and the service first. Marketing can be a standalone, however. I mean, if you really, are just looking for a marketing tool and you have just marketing you're going to do, it absolutely can be just a standalone. I wouldn't make that recommendation, but it can be.
And then does marketing integrate with other CRM solutions? I'm assuming, I guess this means beyond, I guess, like sales and service.
Yes. It can integrate with other CRM solutions. For example, if you have, our marketing can go with, I know there's like Zoho and there is Sugar and things like that. There's other CRMs that it can integrate with. It's a great thing about Microsoft and their D365 products is they do have an open API, so it makes integration a lot easier. And there's a lot of connectors that are pre-built. Microsoft has done a really great job and it's built a lot of, again, connectors that are just pre-built. You just, download them and hook them up so it can hook into other things.
All right, I think that's all we had. Those are good questions.
The great questions. And by all means, make sure, follow up with me. I think Zach's going to have our information out there. Follow up with Zach if you have any further questions. I'm happy to go into some more one-on-one detail and break things down a little bit more, for you guys if you have questions. So.
Yeah, I will just share my screen so they can see our contact information. But yes, we will be also following up with everybody who attended the recorded content from this webinar, as well as content information so you can engage with us if you want to learn more.
And I just want to say, I know time is our most valuable resource, and so I truly appreciate everybody taking time today to come and learn a little bit more about D365 and the analytics that are part of it.
All right, thanks for your time, Jennifer.
Yes.
Everyone, you can see our contact information here on the screen. This will also be included on the follow-up email that we send out. So yeah, if you have any other questions, feel free to either give us a call at our 800 or 888 number or reach out to me at my email address, zgreen@turnkeytech.com, and I can help get you in touch with some of our experts on these topics. And I think that's all we have for today.
Yep, I hope everybody has a wonderful day, and thanks again for taking time to join us.